7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
International superstar, Miss Butter B. Racquel.
You are now tuned in to Butter B. Raquel on Transparency Talks Podcast.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Transparency Talks Podcast. I am your girl, Butter B. Raquel. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. We was coming on a little earlier, but we decided to change it to nighttime, and that's okay because this is my show and we can do what we want to do on it. So anywho, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, guys, for your support for my film, Finding the Perfect Guy. It is now streaming on 23 platforms, so you know that means a lot to me. I really appreciate it. Also, you have from now through April 7th to turn in and submit for our film festival, BBR Indie Films, which is going to be on May 15th, but you have from now to April 7th to submit your music video or your short film, 20 minutes or less. You can go to bbrmediagroup.com to get information, or you can go directly to filmfreeway.com/BBR Indie Films. That's INDIE Films with an S. So we're going to get this show rolling. She is a recording artist, an actress, an author, an entrepreneur. Can you guys please show some love for Raquel Herring?
Hello.
How you doing, Queen?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me and rescheduling with all my craziness today. Oh, time was just not like something I understood today.
It's okay. Things like that happen, and it's fine. It's very fine. So let's dive right on in here. Can you tell everybody a little bit of background about yourself?
Yes, I am Raquel Herring, and I'm a singer and actress, and I got my start on Star Search. Well, actually in Miami, singing different places, like for the Hurricanes and the Dolphins with the national anthem and different events, political events and stuff in Miami, and the children's Coconut Grove Children's Theater. And also, getting on Star Search. My mom got me on Star Search, and I won like 8 consecutive shows, which was like crazy in the teen category. And I made history with that and winning Best Teen Vocalist and Best Teen Performer. And then I went on to the Mickey Mouse Club, where I was the first Black girl Mouseketeer on Disney Channel's Mickey Mouse Club. And then I went on to do Broadway, and then I did record it with the record labels. And I just completed my first book that's been published called Falling Up, The Unstoppable Journey of a Teer. And I have an organic skincare line, Envy Luxury Exclusive. And I just started my podcast too, called Planet Rock.
That was a mouthful. That was a lot. That is a lot. So we're gonna dive into all of that. That's good. That's some good stuff there.
Yay! I was trying to remember it all.
Okay, so you got your first start on Star Search. How old were you?
I was 12 actually in the teen category, because by the time the show would air, right, I would be 13. So they filmed the show like, I don't know, maybe like a couple of months early. And then by the time it would come on, I would be 13. So yeah, in the teen category.
That's what's up. Raquel, you got some energy tonight.
Man, just running crazy today. Okay.
All right. So looking back over your 30 years plus in the entertainment industry, what would you say is the biggest change you've witnessed in the industry?
Well, the biggest change that I've witnessed was, well, obviously with the technology, because like before you would have to like go sing for the record labels or something, or they just happen to see you somewhere. But now you can do your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can put yourself out, you can develop yourself. We have like the equipment and the tools that are now affordable in the way that we can, get out there and promote ourselves and get our own things going and own our own stuff.
That part.
Yes,
that part. Okay, so then you leave Star Search, which I mean, winning 8 consecutive times is major. Like, so kudos to you.
Thank you.
You now go to the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yes.
Right? And you're the first Black person or female?
Black girl Mouseketeer.
Okay. You're the first Black girl Mouseketeer.
Yes.
So everybody, I remember the Mickey Mouse Club. I wanted to be on the Mickey Mouse Club so bad. Yes. So bad. So that launched, would you say that launched your career, or would you say Star Search was the big thing that launched it?
I would say Star Search was the big thing that launched it, because that's what gave me a national platform to be seen. Then comes the Mickey Mouse Club that helps, obviously, and helps me to even grow as an artist. So yes.
Definitely. So did Mickey Mouse Club contact you, or your mom found that as well and got you in it?
Yeah, my mom found that as well. She heard about the auditions happening in Orlando. I'm from Miami. So she heard about it, and we drove to Orlando, where they were auditioning like 100,000 kids across the country for 12 spots on the show. And I was one of those 12. And
then knowing that you was the first, paving the way for us brown young ladies, how does that make you feel? Like, seriously, that's major.
Well, at that time, I didn't know that. Like, I just learned that about maybe 10 years ago.
Wow.
But to then be faced with that, like, wow, what? I know. Secondly, I was like, that's amazing, because one, from not knowing to now going into like having this knowledge, wow. Like, because the Mickey Mouse Club was like an iconic show.
It was.
I mean, like, people remember the Net Fonicellos and everybody that was like on that first show. I mean, they had another show in the 70s where there was the first Black girl Mouseketeer, just period, on just the Mickey Mouse Club. But no one knows that show. We never heard it. We never like really, I think there's only like 1 or 2 pictures like that are circulating around the internet on the show. And that seemed to be only because I said that I was the first Black girl Mouseketeer. I don't think we would even know anything about, I think her name is Chandela, if, I had never said it, which is good, because I'm glad I said it, because then she gets the chance to be known as well, so I'm glad I said it. People had some situations about it, but good, right? I'll say something else, that may put something good on the spot as well. So yeah. I mean, it's wonderful when you can pave the way for others and, open that door where others are able to come through and be able to experience, those good things that you've had the opportunity to experience.
Absolutely. Now, you said that you started, you got on Star Search at 12, but I have a feeling you started singing way before then.
Oh, yeah. I started singing professionally at 7. My cousin heard me sing at a party my mom was having at the house, and she ran in there and she said, "Oh my gosh, she can sing. And then my mom was kind of like, okay. And so she had me sing, and my mom, okay. So my cousin is a singer as well, and her name's Teer, and she's known as the freestyle queen in Miami and around the world now. And so she was doing a pageant, and she and my mom got together to get on as a singer, as a guest singer on that pageant. And I sung "And I Am Telling You." And they worked with me. They worked with my performance. They worked with me, with all that stuff, when you get out there, your mic technique and how to perform and how to make the audience, like really feel it and all that stuff. And so when I went down to my knees on that song,
right.
Gosh, the audience just jumped up and like the place roared, because they were like, "This is crazy." So yeah, then that's when my mom was like, yeah, I think we got something. So
My mom used to be my manager as well, and I started at age 4, so I absolutely get it. I do.
okay.
What was it like transitioning from the new Mickey Mouse Club to Broadway?
Well, because I had done stage before,
Hmm.
that's what I kind of grew up doing. So it was just, you just, I think when you're a kid and you've grown up doing those things, even though at that time I was like, what, about 16 or whatever, it
Hmm.
was, you just do it.
It was just normal.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
live. You know what the responsibility is. You know that, we need to go through live, just straight through perfect, So I
Right.
don't think that transition was difficult.
Okay. All right. So you've worked across so many different mediums: film, television, theater, radio, writing. Is there one that you found more fulfilling and any that you find a little bit more challenging?
I like television because you can cut.
Right.
Right. And then by that time, you probably got a new idea how to maybe do it differently or whatever, or to make
Right.
more of it.
Right.
Stage, man, you got to be on. I love it because that's the challenge of being on, being in, and being in that whole time that you're on that stage. Even when you're backstage, just being in it that whole time as your character, as just like, some people do that on television and film too.
Right.
But stage is just it's just the top of that because you have to be on.
Yeah.
You have to be in. And I do like the challenge of that.
Yeah. Yeah. Stage is my favorite as well. It's the crowd for me. You being able to draw upon the crowd and that energy, I'd be like, oh my goodness, especially when the energy's good. Now, sometimes when when it starts off a little slow with the energy, you be like, Lord, I gotta pick it up for everybody. But
Right. You're so right about that. That's true. The energy from the audience is amazing. Like when they're on, everybody's on. It's like doing stand-up because I was doing that for a minute in LA. And some people come, like some crowds, they come ready to just laugh. They're walking through the door laughing because they just
Right.
ready to have a good time. Some people come in there like, you won't have to make me laugh because I ain't just gonna be giving you no laughs. So that's a big deal. But when people are in it, your first laugh and like you feel so good, and then people are in it and everybody's just having such an amazing time. Yeah, it's just like magic.
Yeah, it really is. It really, really is. Okay. Um, so so back in the day when we came up, it was
Yes.
different on how to get on and everything. But you touched on it a little bit. It's a lot easier now because you can literally pave your own way to
Right.
get out there. What would you tell an aspiring artist on what their first steps should be now to get out there?
First steps. One, be yourself. I subscribe to just do what you're going to do because
Mhm.
that's what makes you unique than doing what everybody else doing or some variation of it or whatever. Just do you and trust your instincts, trust your gut. And that's what I would say initially, those things. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Would you tell them to get vocal lessons and art? I don't even think they do artist development, not like they used to do back in the day. Or would you tell them? Because my first thing would be to just get out there and do it and go to some open mics so that you can really gain the experience.
Yeah. Well, I had an artist development company. I loved it. With
I
the
loved
art.
it too.
I loved doing that. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
Some people are just so talented. It's just amazing the talent that's out there, Yeah, I would say take vocal lessons for sure. But like you say, you have to do it. Like you have to be out there singing. I would say if you're confident and you're ready to just go and do it, go do it. If you think you need some work, for sure, definitely take vocal lessons. I started later taking vocal lessons, but my mom's point for vocal lessons was like not to change like my voice or something, but to teach me how to have the longevity, how to breathe, how to make sure, you know, I'm not singing from the throat, I'm singing from the diaphragm, how to use it, and, you know, making sure that, you know, I'm able to sing, you know, high highs and low lows, you know. So yeah, and to expand my range as well. So yeah, that's what she did. And so I would definitely recommend that. And then if you're doing acting classes for sure. I mean, some people just do it because, you know, they're confident in it. If you think you need to take some classes, sometimes you just have to be around it, to be in it, to be with other people, to gel and see how, you know, connecting with other people at whatever level that character needs to be connecting. Connection is a lot, you know, even like when you're singing, connecting with the audience, you know, you're with your person on stage or on the set, working on your scene. Connection is so important. And I think that's what we need a lot of, the connection.
Absolutely. I grew up in the time, my co-manager was AJ Alexander, the one who discovered Usher and got him signed. And so we used to have these boot camps, and I didn't understand it at the time, but you know, it was building our stamina. We running up and down these steps and going up and down these hills at Executive Village, which no longer exists. They tore the whole place down, but it was the hub for our rehearsals and for conditioning and everything. And I didn't understand it at age 15, you know, why we had to sing and run and do all this extra stuff. But artist development was real back in those days, and it taught us about longevity and stamina and all those different types of things. And I think that a lot of people don't put the time to really get themselves developed, not like they used to.
Yeah. Well, I don't think they even know really what it is.
Yeah.
Or what to do.
Yeah.
Just, you know, work on your talent, work on writing, work on like the scene. But like you're talking about that physical part of it as well, even the mental part of it.
Absolutely.
You know, yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So you've broken a lot of barriers throughout your career. How do you feel the importance of representation in entertainment today? Your representation is.
What do you mean by representation?
You breaking those barriers and you paving the way for so many of us.
How important do I think it is?
Yeah. Or how important do you think it was? I mean, again, you broke a lot of barriers at a very young age.
I don't know. I don't know if I even thought about that. How important is that? Well, I think, you know, when I'm talking to other people to tell them about the business, to tell them about my experience, you know, it is important because I have a background of experience to share on levels that, you know, some people just have not gotten to yet. So yeah, it is important, that representation.
Absolutely. It really, really is. Like, seriously, I was so excited to talk to you because again, you've paved the way for a lot of young ladies like myself. So, you know, you was the first one to get through the door, and that's major. You know?
Wow. Okay, yeah. Well, then look at how that important that representation is.
What are you most excited about your next chapter of your multifaceted career?
What I'm most excited, you know, sharing my story, sharing, like, you know, that importance of representation. I'm gonna remember that. I'm not gonna forget that. Yeah, sharing the things that I've been through, like in front of the lights and behind the lights, you know. That's what I'm most excited about. And, you know, being able to go deep with people to like really talk about it, you know, hoping that it helps them. It helps them in their discovery of self. It helps them in their discovery of their gifts and talents and how to use them, and even their discovery with the Lord. So, you know, and that relationship. So I'm excited about that, to share.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I definitely want to dive into your book, but before I do, I want to stay a little bit on the topic of singing and artist development and everything. Okay. Man, I just lost my really good question. So we're going to come back to it. So I'll have to forward a little bit. What inspired you to write your book, Falling Up?
Inspired me to write my book was to share my story, because I think people would be really shocked about what I've experienced. And so much of it is so appropriate for today's times in deciding that I want to be me. I want to be who it is I believe I am. And I don't want to change that. And I want to be true to that. And sometimes that comes with the sacrifice of, you know, whatever you thought could have happened, or, you know, who knows. But that's what really encouraged me to want to share my story, because there were so many facets to it, so many different roads, and not loving music at one point to finding my way back to music, and then finding my way to other things that I enjoy doing and working on those things. So that's what inspired me to write it, so I can inspire someone else, to let them know that no matter what has happened, it's not over. You know, there's so much more to keep discovering about yourself, about the world, about your gifts, about your talents. There's so much.
That's good. That's really good. When I hear you say that, I think about, because my book, I have a book as well that's talking about the ins and out of the industry, the ups and downs of the industry, because so many people see the glitz and glamour and they don't have a clue. Oh my goodness. They just think that you're just up at all times. Like there's no lows, and like there's no. Can you talk about a little bit of any type of struggles you've had to experience?
Most of my struggles I would attribute to confidence. There was a time I just lost it, you know, and you gotta have your confidence, because your confidence, like, especially like going to auditions or something, or just even being on stage, your confidence is everything. How you relate, how you translate to people, how you trust your gift, how you trust, you know, opening your mouth. It means everything. And that was a long, terrible period of experiencing that. And then the people that were once on my side, to feel like, you know, you've been basically betrayed and abandoned, you know, or to be looked down upon or judged, when simply it was my confidence. But what I realized is I didn't have my own confidence. So it was easy for it to be, perhaps, I can say the word crushed, because it wasn't my own, until now building my own confidence, that now it is mine. I possess my own confidence and not someone else's belief that can change based on attitudes, or, you know, the day of someone's securities or insecurities or personalities, right? Now it's my own. It's how I do it now. And man, that feels so much better. And then how God feels about me, because that's how I had to, like, really even working back at it to say how he feels about me. What does he say about me? Because when there's something negative that comes across, where'd you get that from? Who said that? Is it in line with what God says? You know, and I'm really like going full steam on that, because I see how much it matters. I see how much it matters to the confidence, what you're saying to yourself. How are you being kind? And what are the words that you're repeating and saying to yourself? Are you repeating those words from the past that you've heard maybe someone else say? Or what are these words? So I'm full steam on that right now. It's taken work to like transform those thoughts and things, but that's it's a big deal. It was the confidence, and it really took me time to really get down to it, because no one really wants to admit, you know, confidence or not the self-esteem that you would expect one to have. But it's like once being able to admit it, now
Right.
I can tackle it, do something about it.
Yeah, definitely. I had got to a stage where I used to let other people's opinion about me determine, what I was going to do, and I really started letting that resonate in my mind. And
Mhm.
I started, okay, well, maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I do need to stop. Maybe I should do this. Maybe, and I was in my own head, in my own way, and I had to realize no one else can determine you and your fate and tell you what to do about your own life. So you just
Right.
got to live your life for you,
Yeah.
do everything that you love to do,
Yeah.
and keep it rolling.
Yeah. That took me a long time to,
Yeah.
I think now in these past few years that I've finally I have come to that determination that I know what has been in my head and who or what I may have been living my life for.
Right.
They may know, maybe they don't know. It didn't matter. What matters is what's in my head and what I have to meet head on and deal with.
Mhm.
And yeah, it's been happening. It's like even like doing the skincare line, the book, I mean, the podcast, the things that I've been rolling out, that's all like in confidence.
Mhm.
Now to not just be a person that says, well, I want to do, but have the confidence to do it,
Yep. Yep.
and that took a lot.
Yeah. 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 We're very similar in that I have this attitude now of I'm going after everything I can conjure up in my mind because I see it as a blueprint. If God gives you the vision,
Yeah.
then that's a blueprint that it can actually happen. So I
Yeah.
go after everybody be like, man, she got a podcast, she got a book, she got her festival, she got all this stuff. Yep, she does. She does. She
Yeah.
does. I'm going after it all. Like, why
Yeah.
not? Why
Why
not?
not?
Yeah.
Yes.
And why not me?
That's right. Why
Yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Why not you? Exactly. Why not me? Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about your skincare.
My skincare. Well, I have been making it for like 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Only because out of necessity, because I was going through a divorce and other things. So the stuff I liked to purchase, I wasn't purchasing that no more. And,
I
and
understand that.
yeah. And then some things they discontinued that I really liked, right? And they were, they were pretty not budget friendly, but still I liked those things, and they just were not anymore. And so my friend came over one day. I have dry skin. My skin can get really dry where you could start seeing, like, they show that commercial in the desert where it's like you can see the lines and all. It's like it can get that dry, and that's like from all the way down, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what am I going to do about this? Because I'm not using those things anymore. Some things have discontinued. The new things, like a lot of creams, they worked for a moment, then they didn't work anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in California sun, okay? Not to mention this Florida sun and humidity, okay? So so I had to do something. So my friend came over one day and she had lost this weight. She shaved her head, and I was like, what is, it hadn't been that long since we saw each other last. I was like, what has happened here? My gosh. And she's like, I'm going vegan. I'm getting off the meat and all this stuff, and I'm going totally natural, and I'm going to make my own products. And I was like, what? Make your own products? So that kind of sparked an interest because, I needed my own products. So I was like, well, how do you do that? So she told me how to do. I was just so fascinated with the fact that I can make my own stuff, and I know in it, I can make it organic. I can make my own products, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was excited about that. And so I started doing the research, like she said. And from there, I started making it. And I had just been doing it for 10 years because, and it worked so well. My skin felt better, felt nourished, felt hydrated. And not just like on the top, but I meant like down in there in the layers. So I was
Right.
like, this is amazing. Like, honestly, I have not gone back. Only time I go back is if I'm testing. I don't go back to like be a user or consumer of that stuff because
Mm-hmm.
I know what I have made is like that artisan type stuff was like the artisan type products was so much better. So I was here in Miami. I didn't really think about putting it out or anything. I would just share it with, my friend. Yeah, just like 1 or 2 friends I'd share it with. Nobody even knew, because that's how I was like, I was just making it for myself.
Mm.
So I come to Miami. I was using like the hyaluronics and the retinols and all that stuff. And my skin just was dull and just not feeling like I know it should feel. But I wasn't making anything. I was like, I just wasn't up for making anything. It takes time, it's like, you got to really, and I'm putting myself into it for me, of course, at the time. And so I made this face oil. I made the body butters and all that very nice. I made the face oil. And when I put it on my face, I saw my face just brighten up like immediately. And I felt like my skin was like, well, thank you. It's about time. Like, you giving me what I needed all this time. Like, it just felt so refreshed, right? But then I don't build my stuff up like that. I'm starting to learn to, right? I'm starting to learn to build my stuff, but I don't hype my stuff up, right? It's like, nah, I just don't do it. So my mom, and I thought, well, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm feeling a little hyped about my stuff,
Right.
So my mom comes out after using it and she said, "Ooh, this is nice. I like it. My face feels so good. It brightened up." And I was like, "Really?" And then she said, "You should put this out." And when she said that, I was like, "Huh, that's an idea." So that's how it happened. And so while I was in school, since I was in business school and then getting my degree in computer information systems, I was like, well, there's a system with the computers for some business. Well, I need to put my degree to work for myself at least, right? So I just started like planning and writing out my thoughts and writing out how I was going to develop the company and how things were going to look. And so I started buying things like all my tools a little bit at a time. And then once I was done, I went into packaging and full steam, and then I put it out.
Nice.
That's a long story, but that's how it went.
And where can people get your product from?
You can get it at nvluxuryexclusive.com. That's the letter N, the letter V, luxuryexclusive.com.
Okay.
Soon to be in stores.
Okay. That'll be great.
Yes.
That'll be real good. So where can people find you, and do you have any lasting words you would like to say to the audience?
You can find me at raquelherring.com. And I'm all over social media. Raquel Herring on Facebook, TikTok. What's those other ones? Instagram. my_ROQUE, or you could just look up Raquel Herring, or you could just go to raquelherring.com. So yeah, that's where I am. Podcast is Planet Rock. That's what my focus on. That's my focus at this time, because it kind of encompasses everything together into that. And what do I have? Man, I'm working on it. I'm working on it all the time, every day, growing. The Word of God is what we need to stick with. So I'm going to say that. Get in the Word. What does God say about you? That's very important. And what are you going to say about yourself? And be good to yourself, because then you can be good to others and be true to you. That's what I got to say.
That's how you end the show right there. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to be out of here. So we will talk to you guys later. You stay on, but we will talk to you guys later. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. Hold on.